Hello.
Hello, Koteshwara.
Yeah.
Hi, Ankur this side from Opti Solution.
Yeah. Tell me.
So, this is the right time?
Yes.
to talk with you?
Yes.
Okay,
You can
so
talk.
let me start the technical discussion.
Yes. Sure.
Okay, so could you please give me a brief intro and let me know your roles and responsibility in your current organization?
Yeah. Sure. So thanks for giving me this opportunity to explain myself. So I'm Koteshwara. Currently working in Mastech as a Devops engineer. Okay. So I'm having an overall of experience of 4.3 years and having a breakup of 2 years as a build and release engineer and 2 years as a Devops engineer. And I can code myself as a techno-functional guy because when I'm working as a build and release engineer, I worked as an enrollment coordinator. So there I have learned many topics related to project management and related things. And as I started my career as a build and release engineer, I have a brief picture of all the project structures and realizing end-to-end things. Okay. And during the course of time, so I used it to automate the regular activities which drove me towards the DevOps. So there I used to do the deployments in the Tomcat servers and Java servers. So I thought of relating to getting the automation done. So there I used it to have write the small Python scripts, etc. to do that particular task. Then slowly I got to know relating to the DevOps tools. Then I started my career as a DevOps engineer in the next from the next project itself. Okay. Then when it comes to my roles and responsibilities, so I worked on different tools related to Git, Jenkins, and Grafana, the monitoring solution, Chronograph, Maven, and Tomcat, and related to the server side, I worked on Linux servers. So mainly I worked for and Ansible as a configuration management tool, and for containers I used Docker, and related with the cloud platforms I used AWS, and the repository management I used JFrog Artifactory, and the code quality testing I used SonarQube. So mainly my responsibilities will be more of creating the Jenkins users and user management on Jenkins and the Git, and resolving conflicts, etc. related to the Git, and creating a Jenkins job and configuring the Jenkins job accordingly to the requirement, and doing the deployments using CA Atomic as a tool for doing the deployments in the Tomcat server. Yeah.
I'm marking like for the version control system you worked on Git.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And I'm talking about the CI part. So you worked on Jenkins.
Exactly.
And application server, as you mentioned in your resume, Tomcat.
Exactly. Yep.
OS label is Linux, right?
Sorry?
OS operating system. You use Linux.
Linux.
Yeah. The same. Okay.
Yep.
Then
so actually it is based upon the servers. So some of the servers that will be on the Linux, and some of the servers which is installed on the Windows. So I used both Linux and Windows.
Okay. Then if I'm talking about the orchestration tool, you use Ansible.
Exactly.
Just give me a second. Okay. And then containerization, you use Docker.
Yep.
Cloud platform, you use AWS. And have you any exposure on IBM Cloud also, right?
Yes. IBM Cloud, the Bluemix. Actually, my project initially started on Bluemix side. So then I started doing the POCs and all. Then recording this, the budget and other constraints, the management suggested to move to AWS, which is a better solution. Then slowly we started using the AWS.
Monitoring, you use New Relic, right?
So that Neural Lake just we did a POC. Exactly currently we are using Graphen and Chronograph.
Graphen and Chronograph.
Yes.
Okay. So let me know how much you rate yourself in Git out of 5.
So I can rate it as around 3.5.
Okay.
Yep.
In Jenkins?
And in Jenkins also I can quote it around 3.5.
Tomcat?
Tomcat I did exactly the deployments. So that I can rate it as a 3. So what are the other features? I'm not aware. So as per my requirement, I did only for the deployments. Yep.
Okay. And in Unix?
Unix, yeah, I can rate it as 4.
4 out of 5, right?
Yep.
Ansible?
Ansible, I can make it 3.
Docker?
Docker, I can make it 3.
Okay. And AWS?
AWS, I can make it around 3. So some of the actually we are using mostly related to the solution architect side. So that are the services we are using. You want to me? Yeah. Yep. Okay.
Okay. So let me start from beta version config system. Okay. So could you please first tell me what is CI/CD?
Yeah. So the CI/CD is nothing but continuous integration and continuous deployments. Okay. That continuous integration in the sense, so the flow will start like this. So whenever the developer checks the code into the repositories, here we can say it as a gate. Okay. So from there the pipeline should kick off. That where comes our Devops team functionality. Whenever the developer checks the code into a gate, it should automatically kick it off by another Jenkins job. So there it should do the build. After doing the build, so before doing the build, it should check the quality of the code by using some Sonar Cube. Then if the code quality is good, then it should kick off our build. So if the build is done, we are going to get the artifact. That artifact we are going to make it in a repository. That is nothing but artifactory, JFrog artifactory. From there we can take it and deploy into the concerned target server using which can be a Tomcat. So once the deployment is done in the Tomcat, we can verify whether the deployment is done successfully or not by writing some shakeout scripts using Selenium or something that testing team is going to provide. So that these pipelines we can make it in CA Atomic, which is we are using as a.
Could you please tell me your branching strategy?
Sorry.
Your branching strategy.
So the branching strategy is we are using a merge branching strategy. So whenever there will be a master branch, okay. So and all the developers we are going to use created different branches. Okay, based
how many environment you have? How many environment you have in your current?
Sorry.
In your current project, how many environments you have?
Environments, it will be ST, system test, SIT, UAT, and pre-prod and prod. So we have 5.
Okay, so you have 5 environments?
Yep.
Okay, so how you manage them by if I'm talking about the branching strategy for all 5 environments, how you manage that thing?
So that thing what we are going to do is we are creating different master branches for it. We are getting only one, different master branches. And when I'm working on ST, so all the developers will have branches too in ST environment and to the master server. So whenever all the people, the developers are checking the code, the development lead, so he is going to check the code is correct or not. If it is correct and that is tested, then he is going to merge it to the master branch. In the same way, we are going to replicate the same process in all the different environments.
So developer can commit in your master branch?
So that developer lead sitting along with our DevOps guy. going to do it.
No. What is the process when let's suppose I am a developer. Okay, I'm writing a code. Okay, so I'm able to commit my code to the directly to
branch.
Or...
No, to the branch, to the specific branch only you are able to commit your code, but not to the master batch. The master batch you won't be having access. All the developers won't be having access.
Okay, so let me know. In Git we have two things, right? Git pull and Git patch.
Yep.
Let me know the difference.
So what is that? Git pull and
Git fetch.
Git
patch.
Sorry, I haven't.
FETCH.
Sorry, I haven't used that fetch, but I used this Git pull. So what exactly that pull will do is the sense. So already some other developers or something is going to do the check-ins and committing the code into the master branch. So, but you want the same copy to be cloned into your local copy. Then we'll use a Git pull. Then what is the code that is available in the master branch? That is going to come to your local repo. And then we can do some changes according to your things, and we can add it and then commit it to your master branch, to your branch.
Let's suppose I did a wrong commit.
Yep.
And I want to revert back.
You want to revert back the commit message, right?
No, not commit message. Okay. By mistake, I did a wrong commit to the mine. Okay, I did a wrong commit and I want to revert that commit.
Okay, that will be available in the branch itself, right?
Okay, how can I revert that thing?
So when you're saying the wrong commit in the sense the message only, right? So that we can do it using amend.
Let's suppose I am working on a project, okay, and I updated wrong code into my branch. Okay. And I commit that thing. So now I want to revert my all code to the previous one.
Okay. Sorry, so I haven't faced this scenario as of now.
Have you heard about the Git stash?
Yes, Git stash. Yes.
What is the use of Git stash?
So Git stash is nothing but see, I am working on some project. I mean, on some code. So if any new requirement comes, so I am in a situation like if that new requirement is on priority for me, okay, then I can't discard my currently working script. So what I am going to do is using the Git stash, I will save this in the stash memory, and so that I can work on the new feature. So whenever I want the new feature will be committed, whenever I want to work on the previous feature which I left it there, then I will use git pop and get the code from the temporary temp memory which is saved there and get the code to the working condition, and I will start working on it. So it acts as a temporary space to save our data, save our code.
Okay. So in Git, okay, let's suppose okay. In Git, okay. So whenever I commit my code into my branch, okay.
Yeah.
Whenever there is a merge in, let's suppose, how can I merge two branches?
So using git merge and the master and then other branch name. If you give this command, then it is going to merge the changes which is done in the currently working branch. Sorry.
Cherry pick.
What is that?
Cherry pick.
Cherry pick.
Yeah, cherry picking.
Sorry, I was not aware of it. Sorry.
Okay, no issue. Okay, in Jenkins, okay. So let me know how many plugins you use in Jenkins.
So currently we are using around 3 plugins.
Okay, let me know the name.
So what is that? Artifactory plugin. Okay. And other is git pull, git plugin. So to just pulling that and git hooking. And the next one is SonarQube.
Okay.
Yep.
So how you manage all three plugins?
So, how you are going to manage in the sense, SonarCube we are going to use for the code quality check. Okay. So, and
So where you deployed SonarCube? SonarCube in AWS or somewhere else?
SonarCube we are maintaining in AWS itself. We are created a server there, and from in that server we hosted our SonarCube there, and that we are
Okay,
going
let
to
me
use.
know how can I deploy SonarCube? What all the basic components of SonarCube?
Sorry, basic components.
Yeah. Let's
Sorry.
suppose I want to configure SonarCube server. Okay. So what all the requirements?
Currently we are using it, but that configurations are already previously done with other ranges.
No.
Yes.
If I'm talking about the SonarCube, okay. When you integrate the SonarCube with your Jenkins, so first of all, at least you need a SonarCube server. Okay.
Yes, exactly.
So you have to configure that server. So I'm talking about the thing. So let me know what all the basic minimum requirement of all the requirements for the SonarCube server. How can I configure?
Configuration. So we are going to that server we are going to host it, and using the Nginx gateway, that server, that IP address we are pointing out it in the Nginx. Okay. So that what is that IP address which is pointing to our SonarCube, that we are going to use it in Git plugin by directly linking it.
Okay.
Yep.
And Git pull, Git plugin, where you use Git plugin in Jenkins?
So yes, sir. Git plugin we are using for the two things. So one is for to link to the Jenkins. So what it is going to do in the sense, so whenever a new code is taken into the Git, so it is constantly monitored, constantly polled by a Jenkins job. Okay.
Let's suppose I want to build a job remotely in Git, in Jenkins.
Yes.
I don't want to go to Jenkins server.
Yeah, got it. You using remote. Sorry.
Yeah, remote trigger.
Yes, there will be some option called a remote trigger option. So there, if you click on that remote trigger option, we can specify our Jenkins IP address followed by the API token, which you are going to specify at the time of job creation in the Jenkins. So if you click on, if you are using that URL from the Jenkins job, it is going to directly invoke the Jenkins host where it is configured.
Okay. And what all the parameters you pass, if you configure the SonarCube, okay, you need to pass some parameters in your Jenkins.
Yeah.
Hello?
Yes, sorry.
When you configure the SonarCube in your Jenkins, you integrate the SonarCube in your Jenkins server, okay, you need to pass some parameters in your job.
Parameters?
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm not getting that. What exactly mean by
okay,
parameters?
And where you use the Artifactory plugin?
So Artifactory plugin where in the Git itself. But actually the pipeline in the sense, so whenever the Jenkins job is executed, whenever the build is done, it is going to get me an artifact. So that artifact we are going to store it in Artifactory through the Jenkins job.
So you didn't use that plugin in your POM file. Best practice is that whenever you use the Artifactory and Access or something else, okay. So we have the option to use the plugins in your POM file, okay. So it automatically deploy your artifact to your Artifactory.
Okay. That actually automatically deployed to the artifact where you are using in the Jenkins. In the Jenkins job, we are using it.
Okay.
So when the deployment is done,
and,
it is going to.
Did you configure that master slave in Jenkins?
No. We are not using that. Currently, we are using only.
So let me know how many servers you have right now.
In the Jenkins?
No, in
overall.
Jenkins. Yeah.
Overall, we are having around 6 or 7 servers.
Okay. Okay. Then move to Tomcat. Okay. Let's suppose I have my war. Okay. I got when you build you push your code in, commit your code into Git.
Git.
Okay. Git.
Yeah.
Okay. Then my build job is triggered. Right.
Yep. Yep.
Now I have the artifact.
Yep.
It's war or jar.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
So I have my war. Okay. And
Yep.
I want to deploy it into my server instance. So
Yep.
what is the process? How Tomcat does the details?
Yes. Yes. So now what we are having is our artifact is in Artifactory, correct? So then in the Jenkins job itself, we are having another tool called CI Atomic. Okay. So in that Atomic, we are going to create a different application. For example, take some application as a T24, some application is there. Okay. There we are going to specify different workflow. In the workflow, in the first sense, we are going to create different components. The first component is nothing but a build component. In the build component, what I'm going to do is I'm going to execute a Python script. Okay. So that actually what it is going to do is it is going to download the artifact from the Artifactory. Okay. That will be available in the build server, and the next step it is going to be the deployment component. In the deployment component, what it is going to do is that currently that server, that artifact is in the build server. From the build server, it is going to transfer into the target server. Nothing but which environment you want to deploy. For example, it is a ST environment. It is going to transfer it into the ST environment, and there from ST environment, it will be, we are going to put one folder for the artifact. From that folder, another action is going to kick off. That is going to put that artifact into our web apps folder in the Tomcat.
Okay.
And then after putting it, then we are going to restart the service of the Tomcat. So that we are going to put another action in the Artifactory in the Atomic itself. So once this is done, so application deployment is completed, then another action is going to put that will actually trigger our shakeout script.
Let's suppose my deployment is okay. Deployment happened. Okay, but when my application starts, okay, it's showing that there is some bind error, bind issue is there.
Yep.
So let me know why the bind issue is there. What's the problem?
Where it is exactly?
In Tomcat.
In Tomcat, what is that issue?
When you deployed your application, okay, it's deployed successfully. But when the application starts, okay, there is some bind issue, a binding issue, binding address issue. So let me know what is the error.
It is maybe because of the services are not picking up. There may be the services, some of the services are in stop-put state. Then we need to verify that all the services are up and running. And if every service is up and running, then we are going to check in the logs.
Okay, and let me know if, let's suppose, if I want to check the logs, what is the location for the Tomcat logs?
So the logs will be in that before web app folder there will be called logs. In that we are going to check the logs.
Okay, what is the name of the log?
The name of the log will be there will be different types of logs. Sys.log and different logs will be there. So we are going to validate all the logs there.
Okay, then move to the Linux part. Okay.
Yep.
So okay, could you please tell me the architecture of LVM?
Sorry, what is that?
LVM.
LVM, Linux Virtual Machine.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, tell me.
What exactly you mean by architecture in the sense?
Actually, how LVM works? What is like? What all the components LVM contains?
Sorry, I was not aware of that.
Okay.
Yes.
Then let me know. Like I have an IP address. Okay.
Yep.
So where I did that local DNS entry.
So you want to check that in the Linux machine. So you want to know the host, right? /etc/source.
Okay. Have you heard about the NSS switch file name?
What is that?
NSS switch.
No.
And have you any idea about the jail concept?
J concern?
Jail.
No.
Linux.
No.
Okay. And let's suppose I want to create a user, okay?
Yeah.
With some specific location. Like this is my home directory. Let's suppose I create a folder like Ankur/Verma/my home. Okay. So I want to put that directory as a new user home directory.
Okay.
So how can I do this?
So first we need to create an user. If you go to that root and then create a user using user add. So then it is going to prompt all these things, all the name, etc., etc. Then add that group user to the group, specific group where you want to do. Then it is going to automatically create /home and what are the new user. For example, take a quote is a user. So it is going to create a user. What is that home location saying? /home/ and that quote.
Okay. And in Linux, okay, we have multiple file systems, right?
Yeah.
So could you please tell me the difference in ext2 and ext3?
ext2 and ext3. No, not aware.
Let me know inodes. What is the inode? What is inode?
Sorry, not aware.
Okay, nice. Okay, so could you please let's talk about the Ansible, okay?
Yeah.
So, okay, let me know. Could you please explain me how Ansible works? What is the architecture of Ansible?
Yes, sure. So Ansible is nothing but a configuration management tool. So if I am having one master node and I am having different slave nodes. So if I want to install some software or some configuration, I want to do it in all the master nodes, in all the slave nodes. So then I am going to write a playbook from. Before doing that, I will establish a connection between all the slave nodes to the master node, so that the passwordless authentication will going to happen. Then once the establishment is done, then I'm going to write a playbook. So in that, whatever the configuration I want to do it on all the slave nodes, using the playbook from the master, I can do it the configuration in all the slave nodes.
Okay, so you mentioned that you will do the passwordless authentication.
Yes,
okay.
Exactly.
Let me know how can you do the passwordless authentication between two machines.
Yeah, sure. So before doing that, so we need to identify what is the master and what is the slave. So from the master, I need to go and execute a command ssh-keygen. So it is going to generate a key. Okay, that key I am going to it is going to generate two keys. One is a public key and another is a private key. ISA_RUB _pub and ISTR_RUB. So we are going to take the public key, and that public key we need to copy into the authorizer keys in the server.
Okay, I got it.
Yes.
Okay. Then in Ansible master, okay. Let me know what is the minimum requirement for Ansible.
What is the minimum requirement? So what you mean to say, the server configuration?
Prerequisites for Ansible.
So currently our Ansible server is running on 2 virtual CPUs, 4 GB RAM and 30 GB hard disk.
Okay.
So we are hosting in AWS. And in EC2 instance.
So you no need of anything else. If I'm talking about the Ansible, okay, one is my master server. Then we have multiple 5 nodes there. Okay. So should I need to install something on both servers or not?
So master server should have a high-end configuration to to tackle all these things, and the server nodes is as per the requirement. So as per our requirement, this is the configuration we are maintaining.
Okay. So we no need of Python.
Python?
Yeah. We need to install Python or not?
Not required.
Okay.
Why Python will come into picture in answer?
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. So have you write any playbook or rules?
So in that, I used to write small playbooks, but currently we are doing in an experimental stage, but not we are implementing in currently we are in POC stage. In writing, we are doing implementation of the Ansible.
Let me know how can I execute the Ansible playbook.
So the Ansible playbook, how we can execute is we are going to write an YAML file. YAML file is nothing but we can say as a playbook. So the YAML file is written in such a way similar to a key value pair. Okay, there we can mention what is the name, which software you want to install, and what should be the state. It should be in starter state or stopper state, and what is the commands you want to execute there, and if you want to transfer any file, CMD, that it is going to that new server and execute whatever the things you are specifying in the command CMD. So, and like in the key value pair, we are going to write that YAML file, nothing but a playbook.
My question is, how can I execute a playbook?
So it should be Ansible inventory. Inventory file is nothing but the host we are going to put in inventory file, and then the playbook name, the YAML name.
Okay. And let me know, let's suppose in inventory file, okay.
Sorry?
Let me know the precedency of inventory file. I created an inventory file in my local directory.
Yeah.
Okay. And one inventory file in my etc Ansible host.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Two locations is there. Which precedency is high?
So there we can clearly mention that which inventory file we want to execute. That we can clearly mention at the time of execution of your playbook.
Okay. And have you know any idea about grouping in hosting file?
As of now, no. Currently we are doing a POC. So once you are matured enough, we'll came across all these features in that.
Okay. So now let's talk about the Dockerization.
Yep.
Okay. So what is could you please tell me first what is the difference in Dockerization and
virtualization? Yeah. So virtualization, Dockerization, I can let's start with the virtualization. So currently we are having a setup saying, so what we will have be the hardware. So on the top of it, we are going to have a host OS. On top of it, we are going to have a hypervisor, and on top of it, we are going to create a virtual machines. This is the architecture of current virtual machines. So what we are going to do is, we are going to have another layer, separate layer called hypervisor. Nothing but it may be Oracle VirtualBox or VMware. Okay, this will be the virtual. What is that virtualization? So when it comes to the Docker architecture, it will be directly the guest. What is that hardware? So on top of it, we are going to have the guest OS. On top of it, we are going to install Docker daemon or Docker engine. On top of it, we are going to create a different container. So here, when switching from the virtualizations to the Dockerization, so we are going to eliminate a layer, nothing but a hypervisor layer. So it will be more quick and it will be more accurate. So, and the drawback in doing in this is, in virtual machines we can have a different different virtual machines running on the same OS. But when it comes to a Docker daemon, so all the containers should have is going to use the host OS. So every container should will be having the single guest OS, host OS. Yes.
Have you any idea about namespace?
What is that?
Namespace.
Namespace?
Yeah.
Sorry, not aware.
Okay. And have you heard about the C group?
C group?
Yeah.
No.
Okay, and in Docker, okay, when you start a container, you let me know what is the command to
Yes.
start
So
a container.
the first thing we need to build a container using the Docker build. Then that will be stored in the Docker Hub. And then we are going to run by checking.
It's necessary that it will store in Docker Hub.
No. So that is for our architecture. We are proceeding in this way. So that then we can say Docker images. So whenever doing the Docker build, that image will be created. When we want to see that images, we can give Docker images. That will show the Docker images. What are the things available in your local. Then using the Docker run and giving that container ID or the container name, we can start the Docker.
There is something right, -I, okay, -D. Could you please explain me what all these things?
-I is nothing but interactive. IT or IT.
T for?
-D for data.
No, I'm talking about T.
-T?
Yeah.
I have never used. Maybe I'm guessing it may be related to tags. I'm not sure.
Let's suppose I create a Docker file for the Nginx. Okay.
Yeah.
So I need to expose port 80, right?
You need to expose it to
port 80, right?
Yes, exactly.
So how can I expose my code?
-P.
Okay.
-P and the port number 88.
Right. One is -P, small p and cap C. So what is the difference in both?
So currently we are using small p, which is related to the ports.
Okay.
Yep.
And let me know how can I check the history of a Docker container?
Docker history.
And I want to remove images from my local system.
Docker RM and that what are the things you want to remove? Yeah.
Okay. In AWS, let me know what all the services you used.
Currently, we are using EC2, IAM, and S3. These are three things we are using. EC2 we are using for creation of these EC2 instances where our services are running, and S3 we are using to store the backups. So the backups are stored in there.
What is the process to connect that AWS instance? Let's suppose I create an instance.
So which one you want to do? Do you want to know about the Linux connection or the Windows connection?
Anyone.
Yes. So I will tell you both. So the first, let's go to the Linux instance. So whenever we created a container, then we'll have, it is going to create a PEM file. The PEM file is nothing but a key to log into that particular instance. Okay. Then using, we can connect using three different ways. One is using git bash, another using WinSCP, and other using CMD. Okay. When using a git bash, directly we can give SSH-I and that IP username and IP address, and before doing this we need to give the PEM file name. So it will be SSH-I and the PEM file name. For example, take koti.pem is my PEM file.
Okay. No, okay, I got my answer. Okay, second, let me know in IAM. Okay, we have two things. One is policy, one is role.
Yes.
So let me know the difference in both.
What is that? Policy and roles. So policies are nothing but we can write our own customized policies if we want. For example, there will be something called EC2 full administration access. Okay, in the administration access, if we created a user and if we give EC2 full administration access, the newly created user have full access to the EC2. But if you want to restrict him to a specific things, and that means you want to customize your policy, then you are going to write your custom policy and attach that custom policy to that user which you want to apply it for.
And role?
So roles are defined on, for example, developer, tester, and environment guy will be there. For example, I'm telling. So for each different team, we are going to specify some specific related permissions. For example, developer should have access to only restricted services in your AWS account. Then we are going to create an role and add that users to that particular role. For example, take a developer role. So add all the developers to the developer role and give them access. And during the giving the access also we are going to have two types of access. One is the console access and the other is programmatic access. That also we can restrict to whom I need to give the programmatic access, to whom I need to give the console access, because some of the persons not required to have a programmatic access, they want to only have a console access. So based upon that, we are going to allocate the roles.
Okay.
Yep.
And how can I access S3 bucket from my EC2 instance?
Sorry, I didn't get it. How can I?
How can I access my S3 bucket from EC2 instance?
Locate something. Sorry, that is missing. Locate. Sorry, am I audible?
Yeah, you are audible.
So after locate, you are telling something. I'm not able to get it.
I'm talking that I want to access my S3 bucket from my EC2 instance.
Yeah. On to access. Okay. What you mean to say that from the server? Yes, I'm going to create. So, for example, I created an EC2 instance. So in that, I'm having some files. Okay, using two things you can do it. One is using S3 CMD or AWS CLI. Okay, so if I want to transfer a file that from your server to the S3 bucket, so AWS CLI will going to have all the access to all the services. But when you want to do it for the specific thing, specific S3, then we are going to use S3 CMD, which is only for the S3. Then using S3 CMD, I can push the files upload into S3 bucket, or I can download, and I am going to have full command on S3.
Okay.
Using S3 CMD, I'm going to act. Yes.
Okay, so I have done from my side. Okay.
Yep.
So I will share your feedback with HR. Okay. So we'll get back to you.
Sure.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Ankur.
Thank
you.
Bye.
See you. Bye. Hello.
Hello, Koteshwara.
Yeah.
Hi, Ankur this side from Opti Solutions.
Yeah. Tell me.
So this is the right time?
Yes.
To talk with you?
Yes.
Okay. So let me start the technical discussion.
Yes, sure.
Okay. So could you please give me a brief intro and let me know your roles and responsibility in your current organization?
Yeah, sure. So thanks for giving me this opportunity to explain myself. I'm Koteshwara, currently working in Mastech as a Devops engineer. Okay. So I'm having an overall of experience of 4.3 years and having a breakup of